Hello, good morning. Welcome into another episode of Good Morning Nasdaq right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. We got Huddie in the house. My name is Dom. Welcome to the channel. Welcome into Good Morning Nasdaq. It is a beautiful day here on the 24th day of January, year of our Lord 2025. It is Friday, wrapping up a shortened week due to MLK Day and the inauguration on Monday. Been a slower week in general. Gappers have been quite slow here on Good Morning Nasdaq. We haven't had too much to talk about. I don't think we've had more than one real gapper a day. But today, all that goes out the window. We got three stocks over 100%. We got one over around 400% up on the day. So that's awesome to see. We will talk about all of those, talk about their news, their catalysts, their share structure, their dilution, their daily charts, walk you through where our bias lies with these biggest gappers of the day. And when we have time towards the end, we'll be happy to talk about any tickers you guys bring up in the chat, any questions you guys have. So make sure you're over there in the live chat. Get going in there. Let us know where you're tuning in from, or just say hi or chat amongst yourselves. I don't really care. It's kind of a free reign in there. But all that we ask is that you are subscribed to the channel. If this is somewhere you spend your mornings, we are live every day the market is open. And we also post long-form education every single Monday. So you don't want to miss that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button as well. We do like to get that number up towards 50, preferably over 50. And yeah, we'll spend the next 20 minutes here. How are we doing, Jim?
Jim is good. Jim is fine. It's crazy. We talked about it yesterday where it's like super slow market can turn on a dime. And here we are looking at like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gappers. So
Just
it's going
because
to be a
there's
busy day
gappers
for.
doesn't mean it's not a slow market.
I mean, it's tough to really call it a slow market in general. I would kind of caveat that and say that small cap has been slow, but I don't think the market has been
And
slow.
where
I
do
think
we trade, Huddy?
yeah, I mean, I like I said, I just think that eventually it all trickles down, right? So
That's
that's
like
why I
you
think turn on the
saying, me
dime.
saying it's cold, and Kyle's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like 74 degrees today. Different
Well, yeah,
worlds.
well, what I'm saying is like a week and a half of slow market and small cap, but like you rewind to January 5th and it was exciting. It was electric, and that can come back really quickly because we do have overall like the ecosphere of the market right now is strong. I mean, the all-time highs is being pushed on the S&P 500. Like Amazon just hit all-time highs. Like there is strength in the market. There just hasn't been strength in small cap until well, yesterday we had a couple squeezers, and now in pre-market we have big runners. Still no structure, still not really a thematic thing. Like I understand what you're saying. Like it is kind of still cold, but at least you have gappers, at least you have movement, at least you have volume, which I think we've been lacking for a week and a half.
So you're saying the ecosphere is hot.
The ecosphere is hot.
The ecosphere is warm. All righty. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, welcome in, everybody. We got Baja Express in here. Aurelia, Wayne, Queen G, Vladimir Josephov. That's a cool name. Euros Squared, P Daddy Slim, Chris B. Good morning. Good morning. Let's just get into it. All right. 8:58 a.m. Biggest gapper of the day is ALUR. Or you probably thought it was going to be like Allure or something stupid, but no, it's Allurian. Very cool ticker name. Very chic, if you will. I know you're a big designer guy, Huddy. A very chic Allurian, right?
I'm not a designer guy.
Yeah, okay. Allurian, though, is pretty chic, right?
It is chic.
We got a 2 million float here on Allurion, a medical device company. They are dedicated to ending obesity. I'm not sure
Good.
how they're going to do that, but they plan to optimize muscle mass during GLP-1 therapy. So this is one of your, if you watch any television or are on the internet, all you see is commercials for GLP-1, which is what? Ozempic, which is him and hers now, Roe. There's not a company that's not selling you some sort of shot that you shoot into yourself and the weight falls off. So that's what this is. Kind of an interesting headline. 5.8 months of cash left. Let's see what we got. What do we got going on dilution wise here, Jim?
Well, It's tough. I know ALUR. We've traded it in the past. It's one that habitually is a trash stock. Normally, though, when it fades, let me just make sure I'm talking about the right stock. Can I go
Maybe.
any further back on this daily chart?
No, this can't be the one you're thinking of.
I wonder what I am thinking of.
I don't know. ALL something. ALLR? Is there another?
Yeah, maybe it's that one. So I don't know what ALUR is.
Let's look.
Yeah, well, I looked at the dilution earlier. It doesn't look like there's anything too in the money. They do have incentives to get this stock over $25 to unlock the baby shelf restriction to be able to dilute more. Um, Depends on whether they can get there or
Isn't
not
that
right
far
now.
away, weirdly.
But they have to close it, I think, above that level.
Yeah, would be impressive.
That would be hard. But this kind of feels like that reverse split pump and dump. I don't know if they've done a reverse split for sure, but it kind of looks like they have. Can probably figure that out. But and they're
1
pumping
month
it, right?
ago. 21 for 25 1 month ago.
So the question becomes, is this their goals to get it to where it is right now, or are their goals to get it higher? And are they going to use the fact that they have a low float right now to push it, which they clearly have proven in the pre-market that they can, but it just really depends if it can sustain up here. And that's really anyone's guessing game. I feel like the easy move has kind of come and gone, and kind of a lot of volatility at market open. That's for sure.
I think so. Now I'm reading more into them. They are a weight loss platform that combines the Allurian gastric balloon, the world's first and only swallowable, procedureless gastric balloon. That's crazy. All right, 5.8 months of cash left. Offering ability is medium. Overall risk is high. 2 million float for Allurian. Taking a look at that daily chart that Huddie was talking about. Yeah, it's only been around for a little while, since I don't know what that is, August 2023. Hasn't really had a whole lot of volume. It's been a downtrending chart. We've had some one-day spikes that have kind of just been the catalyst for new lows on the daily chart. But and on low-ish volume, that is pre-split. Taking a look at the chart right now, we're kind of bouncing into the next level of resistance in the $20 area. The stock was at $4 yesterday before the news, and there's been a nice reaction to it. It's hard to argue. We're up 421% right now, up from $4 to as high as 20. Without a lot of structure on the daily chart, and with this size of the gap, this level of float being small at 2 million, it's really anyone's guess as to what this does today. It's coming on the back end of a market that I think people are thirsting to attach themselves and attack some sort of gapper. And there is some options today. We'll talk about the rest of them here in a minute. But anytime you get a small float in a higher price on news on a relatively fresh daily chart, it really is anyone's guess. So I'm looking at this today and thinking very difficult to maintain or to absorb a 400% gap up. We'll see where it's at in 27 minutes at the open. But I do anticipate there to be some wild swings right out of the gate. Already done over 36 million today. Probably going to be 100 plus million type of stock for the day, which is going to draw a lot of attention. And who knows? This is definitely your clear and concise leader of the gappers today, up the most, kind of the craziest range, where I think a lot of people believe that that's where the most money can be made, because $5 to $10 swings are possible here. Just kind of give my warning to people out there, my safety warning. When you have a $20 stock with a 2 million float coming from $4, there's potentially some halt risk, halt band risk. And sometimes you get some wonky action. I haven't been watching the tape or anything this morning, so I'm not sure how spready it is or anything, but sometimes difficult to stop out where we want. Sometimes we get stuck in some halts. Whether you're long or short, this is kind of just a warning to all that the action could be a little bit volatile, a little more volatile than you're used to seeing, and that can be really difficult to manage risk in an effective way. But yeah, interested to see how this one does play out. My bias would be that it's going to be difficult for it to hold up here near 20 throughout the whole day, but I don't think it's out of the question that we got to move into the 20s right out of the gate or early in the morning.
Yeah. Sounds like a tough situation to want to be long, though.
It does sound. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Can't
You
do it.
hit the buy button, it drops $2 a share. You sell, it comes right back, type of
Yeah, the
thing.
problem with these, and this is where it's always kind of like that dangerous territory. It's like, the big moves follow the big moves, or the bigger moves follow the big moves, and people are usually dumbfounded how anyone could buy a stock up 2, 3, 400%, but those are the stocks that generally make the 5, 6, 700% moves because they're already volatile. They got the volume, they got the low float. Probably, maybe have some shorts already. We'll see.
Definitely probably does.
So, yeah, on a slow week like this, to kind of wake up to a 400% gapper up near $20, should be an interesting one to watch. That's for sure today. That is ALUR, or as Huddie and his friends call it, Allurion. Next biggest gapper, we'll head on over to sub 10 territory to EVAX. Interested to see what this name is. Evaxion. Okay, that was too easy. We should have been buying this one in pre-market. Evaxion. So it's the stocks with the ION at the end. Can we find another one? Because that one's going to run today too. Evaxion. Very chic today. Out of Denmark. 1.24 million float in the biotech industry. They didn't have news yesterday, so they probably popped up. And they're in a different world. 9 days ago, they were completing dosing a phase 2 trial with personalized cancer vaccine. Sounds like a evax. What did I say? 1.24 million float, high across the board. They do have 15 months of cash. They don't necessarily need it right now, but their offering ability is high. They have some November 2024 offerings in progress. They have some priced stuff. They have some warrants at $20, $35, and it looks like they have an active ATM from 2022 with $5 million left on it. Anything here that triggers the Huddie alert?
And the ATM with $5 million on it is something that they could probably tap into. Depending on what their float is and how much they've tapped in the past, sometimes they're a bit limited, but this thing looks like they're struggling for cash. They have overhead supply. Everything's high across the board. They don't necessarily need the cash today or tomorrow, but it's a good opportunity for them to unleash some of that selling pressure. Again, like there's a world where all of this kind of just fades out of the open and it's just pre-market stupidity. And then there's a world where it all sustains. Nothing's really like, none of these are really like that bad a situation. Maybe we'll get to the next one and it's worse, but EVAX and AUR aren't like anything too diluted, but they are up a lot and they do have diluted metrics.
Certainly are up a lot this morning. EVAX done 22 million today, as high as the 10s and 11s. Rotationing right now in the 7s, up 111%. Kind of going sideways mid-range from this morning's action after pretty strong pre-market, strong yesterday and after hours at 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock as well. So we'll see where this one opens up. Let's take a look at the rest of the daily chart. If you go back in time, definitely top left to bottom right. Probably some reverse splitting here too. I don't see it right off the biz at. Maybe it was $100 stock. Only real run from the last year has been a gap up into the 60s and 70s. It's got to done a split. And since then has really just turned over and been super weak, as low as the high twos on this one before being up into the 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s this morning. Not a lot to draw from this daily chart in terms of recent gaps, recent volatility, recent volume and news on it. So kind of another fresh one like ALUR. Probably kind of running in sync with each other. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into the Evaxion and Allurion. But a nice gapper here.
I wouldn't be surprised if you had those two runners yesterday. I don't know I didn't really look at them too much, but I mean, I'd imagine they're biotech because it feels like these are all biotech.
Yeah. Which wouldn't be crazy. We see a ton of those in Gap City, Gapland, the country of Gapsville. What do you think here, Huddie?
EVAX?
Evaccination.
It's probably just sympathetic to what's moving. So it's the same thing as AUR. Either they're going to sustain these pre-market levels or they're going to fail miserably. I don't think there's really a whole lot of good reason that these things are up, other than, people are chasing the pre-market, shorts are getting squeezed, and we'll see if that kind of action continues once market opens. The weaker these open, the more I feel like they're going to have strong market opens. I feel like the stocks that open up below VWAP are generally ones that kind of get a bid and start going. So the stronger these open, I think the harder it is that they're going to sustain themselves.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And I kind of think, however, at least out of the gate, however, the biggest one kind of reacts is we'll see a little bit of follow through into the others when you see these type of gaps. And that big of one, 400% plus, and being so expensive, you have some cheaper gaps here in a similar landscape. So that is EVAX 730 right now, up 101%. The next biggest gapper of the day, actually overtaking EVAX, is number 2 on the list, the silver medalist, ELAB. ELAB. Please tell me it's a Labion. Okay, nope. It's 222. Where are we at? Am I looking at the right stock?
ELAB.
ELAB, yeah, but the ticker symbol when I go on E-Trade says PMGC Holdings, but it says it's Elevi Labs. All right, Elevi Labs. Biotech with a 3 mil float. So basically all of these are biotechs with 1 to 3 million float. Out of the United States, they are a medical aesthetic company developing cutting-edge physician-dispensed skincare applications.
What was the float on EVAX that you said?
EVAX 1.24.
Okay. Continue.
News 1 hour ago out of eLabs laboratories is that a subsidiary of PMGC Holdings to present breakthrough muscle preservation asset at exclusive UCLA obesity symposium. So there's another tie to obesity. So eLab has news, its own catalyst, as well as in the same type of landscape as ALUR. So starting to draw some comparisons with the biggest gappers of the day. eLab kind of in that same space. They have 12.8 months of cash left, so they have some cash on hand as well. They have some registered warrants, Series A warrants at $2, 5 million of those. And that's their big dilution that they have. Taking a look at the daily chart here, this is one that's definitely done a split or two in its time, I gotta think. Come on, give me some magic words. Reverse split.
Yeah, there definitely was a reverse split.
2 months ago, they did 1 for 200. 1 for 200. Okay, taking a look at the daily chart, that is not crazy to see as I go back further. I don't think this stock was $800. Been super top left to bottom right for the last year and a half. I'm going to have to zoom in here a little more. Taking a look, you have a gap and crap recently on decent volume, 20 million shares, topping out in the 3s and coming back all the way down to the low 2s. You got kind of a day 2 gap and crap here on okay volume up in the 7s and 8s, giving all of that back and leading to new lows on the daily chart as well. So recent history here is that very difficult to sustain itself. Once it does get a big gap going, does tend to give all that back without spiking too much. Kind of, I guess, if you want to call it a little multi-month breakout over 350. We're nicely above that right now, but up 120% in the low to mid 4s. Anything new as we pull up more and more of them, Huddie, or is it more of as a not necessarily treating them as a grouping, but do each of these individual daily charts interest you any more or less as we look at them?
Yeah, I mean, when I look at eLab, like that one, I feel it doesn't mean it is or anything like that, but I feel a little bit more convicted that this one is worse than the others by going off of the dilution that I can clearly see that's in the money, that 5 million shares, and we've traded 30 million right now, so roughly 20% of the current volume. They can execute those warrants and sell into retail, so that feels more concrete than the other low floaters. And then, you have a violent history the last 3 or 4 times this thing is gapped up. It's not only faded, but faded all the way back. Even one time going red on the day. So I feel better about this one. It doesn't mean like that it has to go down, but this one looks like it's a higher odds than the other ones.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that as well. It doesn't mean anything. Any stock can run. They don't need to dilute if they don't want to. They do have 13 months of cash. But structurally, this one sets up in a way that looks like it has a better chance of failure, whereas like ALUR, I think, is more of a crapshoot, and it just kind of depends who gets on the bandwagon here at the open, who gets stuck, how easy is the price action right out of the gate. But that is Elevi Labs.
The one that I feel the best about is Acon. I wish that was gapping up bigger.
The 7 center.
Yeah, that one's horrible.
Is that where we want to kind of call it here at 9:15? The next biggest gapper is only up 68%. Those are kind of your three that are all somewhat connected, all biotechs, 2 of them being obesity, 2 of them having Exion in the name, or Eon in the name. Let's see what you guys are saying. Make sure right now, let's just do a quick poll, quick check that you have hit that subscribe button, that you are subscribed. And, someone said congrats on 6K subs. We got 10 subs in a week. Oh my gosh.
Don't stop now.
Don't
Keep hitting that
stop.
subscribe button.
Don't stop. Something.
Now we're looking at 7K. We need another 1,000 of you.
All right, 1,000 more now. 43 likes. We can get that number up towards 50. I truly believe. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about here. Also, just want to remind you, quick 10 seconds on it. We got a boot camp coming up at the end of March 22nd through the 24th. If you want more information on that, head on over to clovertrain.io. You'll get all the information you want on that. It is in Los Angeles, and we'll be there live and in person. Throne says, can't believe I missed DWTX yesterday. Ill-prepared new mistake. Not sure what part of the move. What is it? DWTX? Not sure what part of the move you're talking about. If it's from a long perspective, not for me. I don't really know how to trade that. But another case of once the stock's up a lot, this move here from the 3s to the 9s is just the ignition for the move from the 8s to 30. So big chart can get bigger, more spikeage. And after that yesterday, it's not a huge surprise that we have some low floaters making big moves already in the pre-market. Kevin asked about RGTI, says, wow, these ones just don't stop, eh? Hitting resistance from 2 weeks ago, forming a tightening pattern with lower highs and higher lows. After its 6 to 14 run last week, I'm leaning bearish. Could we see a big move today? That's the one thing that has kind of gotten me to stop watching these and stop being interested. It's that there is absolutely no reason to believe, but no expectation any day that there should be a big move. This whole entire bounce has been kind of slow and methodical with some consolidation, some speed up days. And since we are all into that resistance, I do expect that it should have a difficult time going higher. But does that mean we're going to get a $5 pullback, a $7 pullback? I don't know. And picking the day that it does that is quite difficult. If you treat it from more of a bounce short type of slow progression, get your average, have the right risk level, and be patient with the exit, I could see that working. But I'm kind of over these stocks, RGTI, QUBT, QBTS. And I have no reason to believe that today is the day that it should pull back big. So, I also lean bearish. But in terms of seeing a big move, I'm not necessarily sold that predicting that day is necessarily easy. Do you agree?
I wasn't listening.
All right. Honesty is the best policy. Why can't I type in DWTX? Someone asked, did someone of you trade the multi-day breakout at 4.4? Wait.
On what?
At 4.4. Well, if you're really calling it a multi-day breakout, the multi-day breakout's at $4 down here on 1/21/2025. No. I never
Which
saw
stock?
this. Huh?
Which stock?
DWTX. Dogwood Therapeutics.
Dude. What a great multi-day breakout that was, though.
Did you see it? Did anyone even know it existed?
See it. Of course not.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know it existed until it was at 9. So
But hey, that's the 3-day sequence. That's the true 3-day sequence right
The
there.
3-day breakout.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
beautiful when
If
it
you were
works.
like really on top of it and saw it, I mean, it wasn't really a gapper, I don't think, that day. We would have talked about it, and I don't scan really at night. So,
But this is like what like it behooves the people that listen and like putting big percent gainers, trading massive volume on a list and kind of quantifying what massive volume is for you. Like this thing was up 100%, 3 days ago on 121 and traded 25 million shares on a $3 stock. I mean, that's good volume. It's decent. Um, and so you just put on a list and, those that were prepared and kind of identified and looked to trade this type of setup, like that's probably the best one we've had all year, going back like 12 months.
yeah, pretty good intraday action into $4 as well. Kind of a
Yeah.
slow morning spike into the 380s, probably by the high day break. Hard to believe if that's the case. I'm long anywhere past 5, 6, 7, but it looks so small on that chart. But that would have been a really nice move into the halt.
My old strategy on, I don't know how I would have made it to the end, but like sometimes it's all about having the right strategy. On a lot of these 3-day breakouts, my whole intention is to buy it and then swing it into the next day, and that's what allows me to be there for most of the uptrend. But that also is fraught with a lot of disaster and depression because some of them come all the way back.
Yeah. Hey, but great break. We'll call it a breakout. Great breakout nonetheless. Pretty
It is a
crazy
breakout.
extension, 4 to 28. And we'll see if there's more in store for it or not. Gapping up 21% right now on DWTX. All right. 921. Ran a little long there, but appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate your viewership. Just being part of our community here on YouTube. Really can't speak to how much appreciation we have for that. So hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll be live again Monday morning, 8:45 a.m. right here on the Clover Train YouTube channel. If you're new around here, appreciate you being here. Appreciate the likes. And if you want to check out the rest of our channel, we do have long-form content that we've been doing for years. Please check that out. Hit the thumbs up on those videos as well. And if you are interested, hit that subscribe button. It really brings a smile to all of our Clover faces. We're going to go hang out in the Clover community right now over at clovertrain.io. Talk about all these gappers, talk about the trades for today, and hopefully have a great start or great end to the week. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Stay safe out there, and we will see you after the weekend.